We have a live counter ticking up, so we should now be live, which of course means welcome back to the Storytime network. We are back with more One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. What was that noise?
I learned what licking a battery tastes like.
What was that, Fuzzy?
Are we live or not?
We are live. I can confirm.
Okay. Well, I learned what licking a battery tastes like.
Why?
Alright, I might not be able to blame you for the insomnia and anxiety, but I can blame you for that.
No, I didn't actually lick a battery. But I did get Molotov for the first time.
Oh. Does not sound like a fun time.
What did you think I said?
I don't know.
Molotov
All I know is that I'm like... Oh, okay.
Made with Sichuan peppercorns.
Okay, I thought you said something... See, I didn't understand that what you were talking about was a food. I thought you said you felt like an illness or something.
In hindsight, I understand why you might think that. No, but like, Sichuan peppercorns make your mouth feel weird, and apparently that's what licking a battery it feels like, or at least that's been used as a comparison. So I did that. That was fun. It tastes good, but it really does. It is the feeling that it gives you in your mouth is not something describable with words. You need to taste it to know. It's like, it's not spicy. Because it's not capsaicin. It's hydroxyalpha-sansol. Is apparently the active ingredient. And like, where capsaicin binds to your pain receptors, that stuff binds to like your light touch receptors and like some of your temperature receptors. It's like, it's weird. It's not painful, it does feel like there's like some stuff going on in your mouth.
Interesting.
Yeah, I got that, just loaded my order with like large quantities of seafood. And I managed to get through half the order, but like I couldn't finish it because it's just like it made my mouth feel weird. It definitely is something I can see why people enjoy it. I just think it's not going to be for me.
No, that's fair.
Or, you know, I might acquire the taste at some point, but like, it is not a taste that is immediately acquirable.
Like sushi?
No, sushi is not an acquired taste, I don't think. A more accurate, a more apt comparison would be wasabi.
I still cannot stand wasabi.
I don't think I've ever tasted actual wasabi.
I was about to say real wasabi or western wasabi, because they are different.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of the places I have been to just give you green horseradish.
Yeah.
That's lame.
Like, here's the thing. I like sushi, but not enough to go to like an A-tier sushi place, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Those are expensive.
Yeah. I'll get a la carte sushi. I think like, so you've got like the range of all you can eat sushis, which is just like, look, it tastes good and it's usually good value, but it is very much the bottom of the barrel in terms of quality. Then you've got the a la carte stuff, which is more expensive, but like it's usually better quality. And then you get to like the fancy stuff, and I cannot bring myself to pay like literally a whole number of dollars for a single bite of food.
Personally, I am of a similar opinion. I don't think any individual that much money, and I don't think it's really worth paying more than like $50 for more than like 50, 60 bucks for a meal if you're like eating buffet style.
I would say I would say up to $35 to $40 is reasonable for a buffet, to a certain extent, depending on the quality of the buffet. Anything more than that starts to become a ripoff, and yes, for any a la carte meal, I'm very, very hesitant to pay anything in the triple digits.
Oh, I never pay triple digits for a single one-person meal. That's just ludicrous.
It is, but like, there are places where that is necessary because of the...
Yeah, but those are the types of places that have like a fucking year-long wait time.
Well, the thing is, those wait times are usually only for the peasants.
Would you describe yourself as a peasant, Fuzzy?
I am a peasant, but I am a tricksy peasant, sometimes.
Oh, like a tricksy hobbit.
I have been known to, steal preciouses. That said, my feet are basically hairless, so I don't know where that puts me on the hobbit spectrum. And by basically, I mean literally there is no hair that I can see on my feet. So, you know. And before someone asks for fuzzy feet pics. And I feel both flattered and concerned.
I know more than one individual online who has taken full, pictures and blurred out their feet specifically, and not like any other part of themselves. Like
that,
even otherwise clothed, they're like they just have bare feet and they blur the feet because of those people.
okay. This is a question that a lot of people are cagey about answering, and I'm going to ask you guys because I think it would be funny.
Oh boy.
How would you feel on a personal level about people, you know, having personal happy time, shall we call it, with you as the subject matter, for helping that along?
I'd be somewhere between embarrassed and slightly flattered.
Okay, I'm glad we're in the same boat there. Mill, you don't get to skip on answering the question.
I mean, I feel like my answer will betray my slightly concerning lack of self-esteem and, you know, body positivity towards myself. So I'm not going to answer.
Look, I'm sure we both have that, but like after you get past that bit, yeah. Fair enough, though.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely know where you're coming from with that one, though.
Yeah, I get that, honestly.
I mean, if I had a nickel for every time I've learned that that has been done with me as the subject matter, I would have 2 nickels. Which is not a lot, but it is weird that it happened twice. Y'all are really just gonna leave me hanging there, huh?
Sorry, I'm getting frustrated at the game.
It's not something I've ever learned about from another person. No one's ever, like, you know, out and out told me that.
Well, clearly you just haven't been hanging out in weird enough circles.
I was gonna say, it feels a little bit weird to have that just like, oh hey, you know, pleasured myself thinking about you. Okay, where am I supposed to go with that?
That was my reaction exactly, actually. Cause like, the other person, she kind of just dropped it in the middle of conversation. I was like, we were just chatting. And at one point...
So funny.
And then I was just like, okay, you have told me this. I don't know how to feel about this. Why would you tell me this? What is, like, is this, like, this, it was very, look, I was once young and foolish. Now, I'm just foolish.
We've all been young and foolish.
Yeah, now we're all just foolish. God, we're old. Why?
We're not that old.
Look, we aren't, but Jack, you're a millennial, and me and Mill are literally the eldest Zoomers possible, I think.
You're up there.
No, because
my brother is,
96 was the last millennial year. Not 97.
My brother is your age. Yep.
Yeah, so he's also an elder Zoomer, then.
Yep. Yeah. There is some debating over exactly when the generations start and end, but pretty sure the consensus is like 95, 96 is the cutoff point for millennials.
Yeah, people are talking about how elder millennials are becoming the, hopefully, the distant future. I mean, like, a few decades in the future will be slightly better because elder millennials will be in the positions that boomers hold now. And on average, elder millennials tend to be a bit more reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be elder millennials.
The elder millennials are in their early 40s, right?
No, they're the elder millennials range from about 34 to 40. So they're in their mid to late 30s, early 40s.
So consensus is that millennials start in 1981. So oldest millennials are about 42.
Like I said, mid 30s to early 40s.
Mm-hmm. The funny thing is, like, Millennial and Zoomer isn't the best dividing line for generations because older Zoomers and younger Millennials have a lot more in common than Millennials on either end of the age scale and Zoomers on either end.
That makes a lot of sense, though, to be fair, I think there are certain places where it does matter. like the dividing line there, because like I feel like a lot of even the elder Zoomers like ourselves are still somewhat more adaptable than to newer trends than older or like the younger millennials.
Possibly.
I would disagree on my case. I am horrible at trends.
I'm not talking about trends, but just like general adaptability. Like, it's not about keeping up with trends, but it's about like if you come across a trend, will you be able to adapt to it in a way that suits your personality? And I believe we are doing that. Like, an example is AI stuff and how we are universally being like, yeah, no, the AI bros can just go straight to the you know, place that's not good. That will not be named for legal reasons.
Hiffle.
No, that's too good for them. And I say that as someone who
You're
is
right.
I'm literally taking a restorative justice course this semester. And I'm like, no.
Speaking of courses, I feel like everyone in STEM should be required to take at least a few ethics classes before graduating.
They should, but they won't. Mostly because, like,
As in, it should be mandatory for college graduation, and if they do not try, they will be expelled.
Here's the problem. Ethics are a very interesting subject to learn. It's a very difficult subject to teach in a way that does not make the students hate ethics. Like, I worry that if you make ethics courses mandatory, that might have the opposite effect and make people more unethical.
I mean, I took a couple mandatory ethics courses, but I didn't wind up hating ethics.
Yeah, but like, are you a hardline STEM student?
No.
Yeah, no, that's because yeah. Art students just think different from STEM students.
I had a psych degree. I don't know if that's really arts.
It's like, it's a social science, which is like
Borderline?
right on the borderline. Yeah, it's a non-STEM science. I think that's the best way of calling it, because like, I think it's like science, technology, engineering, math is what STEM stands for, right?
Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Yes. So, the science one is way too general, because there are definitely non-STEM sciences.
Like political science, the least scientific science.
Yeah, there are, like, basically all of the social sciences and humanities are kind of their own thing. They are science, but they're not the kind of science that you'd get with STEM students. I say this as a person who was a STEM student until my first year of university. But, like, the real hardline STEM kids are just built different. People always talk about how theater kids are weird, but, like, STEM kids are often just as weird.
Everyone's weird in their own way. Normal is a construct. A dumb construct at that.
Weird in this scenario I'm defining as idiosyncrasies that inhibit optimal functioning or otherwise cause harm to oneself or others. But yeah, I'm just like, I'm very curious about, like, what the sort of collection and agglomeration of factors are that lead people down one idiosyncratic rabbit hole or another?
That was a good question.
Is like you'd have to then look at what proportion of like let's break down STEM students as an example. You'd have to look at what proportion of STEM students are in the field because they have a passion for the subject. What proportion are in the field because they have a talent for the subject, and as a result,
What proportion are?
And what
proportion are in the
proportion?
field because their parents told them to?
Yes, that. And there is a fourth one which is similar to the second one, but there is enough of a distinction that I think it deserves its own category. What proportion is in the field because they think that's the most, that's the safest way to earn a living. Right, and then you can further break down those, but like, I would say categories 2, 3, and 4 have a pretty decent chance of, like, rebelling if they are forced to take ethics classes. I think if you have a real passion for the subject, you're built a little bit different. There's also the
Fuzzy,
whole...
It's not about that. It's specifically about the fact that a lot of STEM fields, particularly technology and computer science focused ones, are utterly devoid of ethical prescriptions and guidelines.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that, like, even if you have forced the kids to take ethics courses, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to stay ethical or, like, do ethical things when they're in those fields. Right? I think, ultimately, regardless, I think there are going to be people who, no matter how many ethics courses you give them, are not going to stay ethical, and in fact, might actually be less ethical by virtue of being forced to take ethics courses and not liking it. And there are some people who, even if they don't take a single ethics course, are going to try their best to be ethical.
What do you think, Mel?
I mean, I think there's, you know, only so much you can do, and certainly at university level, I don't particularly like the idea of mandatory courses.
I mean, every single university I know has at least some level of mandatory courses, whether it be humanities or writing or whatnot.
In the bachelor's degree, at least, yeah, there are going to be mandatory courses.
Not in the UK. You do the
interesting.
you do the subject you sign up for, and that's it. There are mandatory modules, but they are a part of the subject that you've chosen to study. At least that's the way it was in my history degree.
I do think history, like pure arts degrees like that, do have some distinctions, because for example, a psychology degree, at least in my experience, you're gonna have to take some psychology courses that are necessary. That's the sort of thing we're talking about, is like, in a psychology degree, psychology courses are going to be mandatory. They're not going to let you have a psychology degree if you have, like, 0 psych courses under your belt.
That's
You know
how
what
it
I'm
is
saying?
with most subjects. If not all subjects.
I mean, okay, I'm now confused.
So,
Okay, go on.
in universities, at least in the US, at least of the ones I know of that are public universities, I don't know if the same applies to private, students are required to take a certain amount and variety of classes as a base level requirement for graduating. Usually that consists of like a mathematics course and or humanities course or a science course or what have you. And usually you have to complete a few of those in addition to your major and or minor courses in order to graduate.
Yeah, that's
Now, in some cases, you can carry over credit if you've done AP classes in high school. AP classes are basically just like college-level classes that are taught in high school. But if you do those, you have a chance of, you know, just not having to do as many college credits when you go to college.
Yeah, this sounds dumb.
Well, why are you? Where's your confusion coming from, Mel?
I mean, I'm not confused at that. I just think it's dumb.
Well,
Like,
I know.
What I loved about fucking university is that I got to study what I wanted to study. I wasn't forced to do anything really. Beyond, you know.
It's only a handful of courses. It's not like you have to do like your entire thing.
Also, like,
Is based around that. It's like you can knock out like all of them in your first year of university.
well, let me pose a question to you, Mel. Could you have gotten your bachelor's in history without taking a single history course?
No, but all we took was history courses, so it's like a false. It's not an equivalent there. Like,
Yeah, Fuzzy, I'm talking about stuff outside of your major courses that you have to take.
that's what got me confused. It's the idea that you
talking
can't.
about electives. Okay.
No, not electives, like the mandatory base classes that some universities have you take in order to graduate.
Those are considered, technically speaking, electives.
They weren't considered electives at my college, but whatever. Though you are required to take a couple of electives as part of that package, to my understanding. At least at the school I went to. But electives are like literally anything that isn't part of your major or minor, so that's like a very broad categorization. You know?
Yeah, but since when has that stopped anyone?
I don't know.
But yeah, I took nothing but history stuff. I might not have enjoyed all of the history stuff because some of it was boring history, but it was all history. And if I had been forced to do additional maths or English courses, I would not have enjoyed it. I had my fill of doing maths and English in high school and A-levels.
So, question: were A-levels like college-level courses, or were they just like high school?
I mean, they're dumb in their own right because they're meant to be like sort of a bridging point between high school and university. But it's done
so that
badly.
would be equivalent to AP classes then.
But yeah, it's
No, because I'm pretty sure everyone does A-levels.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, not entirely true. You can actually choose to do, I think, apprenticeships, or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is, but you, there's also like, so there's sort of two different styles of getting like A-level qualification. There's just a straight A-level where most of your evaluation, is that the right word? I don't know. Like most of how you get marked is through exams. And
Oh, that's fun.
And then there's BTECs, where most of where you get marked, if not all of where you get marked, is more through like essays and that sort of stuff. I had to do A-levels because I went to I did my A-levels at my high school, and because they have a reputation, they don't actually do BTECs. Now, the issue there is that the exams are probably about, university level difficulty, certainly from my experience, with the same amount of time you get for GCSEs.
which are
not enough. I can't remember what the exact times were, but unless
So
you
what you're telling me is that the British school system is just as bad as the North American school system, just in different ways.
yes.
yeah, that's right.
I fucking hated A levels because I was bad at exams to begin with because I'm very bad at time management, which in hindsight might be because of the ADHD. You know,
Yeah, with ADHD, you tend to not test well. I'm not bad at time management. I'm just bad at remembering things, which is bad because the majority of exams I've taken in my life have been memorization focused. Because
I hate memorization. So my least favorite kinds of exams are memorization focused, like fill in the blank type exams. I do great on multiple choice because I can bullshit quite a lot with those. Like multiple choice is easy. Same with essays. Essays are fairly straightforward for me because like half of essays are bullshit at minimum. And if you can spin bullshit well, you can write a good essay.
I'm very good at writing essays. I'm bad at exams.
See, I mostly test well. It's when it's like I do a lot poorer when it comes to like classwork or when it comes to like studying. I am awful at studying. I cannot sit down for more than like 10 minutes.
No, I was bad at that as well. You know, I always struggled to do readings, and it only got worse as I went through university. My ability to my attention span has definitely dropped like since I started university.
My attention span has dropped meteorically throughout my 20s.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be funny if it wasn't so sad.
But yeah, like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but like, my business and economics exam was like, 8 multiple choice questions where you then had to, I think, like, give your reasoning. And those were worth 4 marks apiece, and you had to basically get those done in, I think, like, basically a mark a minute territory.
That's just ridiculous.
And then it had a bunch of like steadily longer form answers in the second part, which again I'm fairly sure was like mark a minute territory. And yeah, I was fucking horrible at that. I
can imagine.
Because I'd, you know, focus on like the first few and then like get to look up and go, oh shit, I have not been working in a mark a minute. And, you know, then I'd start panicking and I'd start forgetting stuff. And it was the same in like fucking history exams. Which, you know, my best subject. And I was, you know, we had like 2 or 3 questions, and I would like put all my attention on the first one, look up and go, oh shit, I've not got that long for my second one. But when I got to university, my first exam, I was really, really scared. I was genuinely worried about it. I started working on it, and I finished with time to spare. And I got a good grade.
That's always nice.
That's my point. I got more time in university to work on the same stuff as A levels. And that's why I think A levels are fucking dumb.
It's almost like high school level examinations are specifically built to filter out people who don't fit a certain mold. And those
I don't
requirements...
know if they were deliberately designed that way, but it is definitely a consequence of their design, at the very least.
I mean, there are just some people who take exams well. I had a friend who, like, common sense wise, he's the dumbest person I've ever met. He did some of the stupidest things I can genuinely. I can't list them all. Just how dumb he was. But he was really good at exams, and so he got good grades.
See, that's
really
that's
funny.
me. That is me. It took me over 20 years to develop good common sense and social skills to be able to be a functioning member of society. But I do great on tests. I don't know how, but I do.
I am the complete opposite. I have always had common sense. I have been awful at tests.
I think you have to trade one for the other sometimes.
Annoyingly so, yeah.
It definitely seems like a bit of a something of a monkey's paw situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Something like that.
Fuck you, Ace. Get donuted.
You really hate playing against him.
I hate playing against Logias in general, but Ace has an high attack stat, so he's terrible.
Yeah, he sounds like he'd be a pain in the ass.
Like, Smoker is annoying, but he doesn't actually do that much in the general sense.
Smoker's the most stonewally of the Logias in general.
He just sort of whizzes around, not doing much.
So true to life then.
Yeah, Ace and Kizaru. Fucking hate them. Fucking hate them.
I'm really looking forward to the next
yeah.
chapter. Though, look, there is a part of me that is like, what if he's just trolling? And there's not actually going to be a fight.
I seriously doubt that.
I think we're too
This
far
is
into the
near
end
perfect
game.
time.
We're too far into the end game for Oda to blue ballers with Luffy versus Admiral fights.
Yeah.
That's the hope. You can never be sure with that, man.
I know, I get why you're worried, but I just think it's too late, and Luffy is not going to back down anymore. He knows he's strong enough to do it.
I just want to see Gear 5 versus Kizaru and see how the clownery that unfolds.
Oh, that reminds me, I did actually re-watch Stampede the other day.
Oh?
Did you learn anything interesting?
I mean, nothing particularly interesting or learned anything really. Nothing that I didn't already know, but I was just thinking, I so wish that Luffy had Gear 5 to face Bullet. Because Bullet would lose his fucking shit. He would hate it so much. And it would be so fucking funny.
Yeah.
He is so
yeah,
fucking serious. And
Bullet was just so fucking full of himself and serious,
yeah, no, he is so serious. And just Luffy just clowning on him with his Looney Tunes. He would lose it.
I mean, Kaido was already really pissed dealing with Luffy's bullshit
Yeah.
at points. And he was mostly enjoying that fight.
Yeah, Kaido was enjoying the challenge, but he just hated the way Luffy was going about it.
Yeah. No, Bullet, Mr. Self-Serious, he just loses shit.
Yeah.
I do love it when a super serious villain just gets absolutely enraged by the lunacy that's by a hero just not taking them seriously.
Yeah.
Especially if the villain in question is like previously shown to be like super unstoppable and badass beforehand, and then it just turns out like, oh, he has a limit to how much he can take, and once he's overpowered and he's just being clowned on, he just loses his shit.
Let us not
It's so
forget
satisfying.
that two of the key players in winning that fight were, in fact, Buggy D. Clown and God D. Usopp.
Yeah.
Which is just very funny to me.
Boogie is so funny in
What's
that
also
movie.
funny-
He is so out of his depth, and it's fantastic.
You know what's also very funny? In hindsight, Orange Town is a clash between two future emperors. I think you brought this up before, Mel, but I still think it's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
And it started over a dog.
Yep. One emperor, Monkey D. Luffy, kick the other emperor, Buggy the Clown, the genius jester, right in the
Buggy
nuts.
D Clown.
Yes.
I refuse to compromise on this.
Oh, that's fine, that's fine.
If I feel like it's gonna be like Buggy's gonna do something in the big final battle against him, and it's just gonna be that reveal of, oh god, he is a D. And Oda's gonna be laughing all the while.
You know what would be even funnier? What if Buggy turned out to be a world noble? I would find that very funny.
But yeah, I do find it interesting. I wonder if One Piece Film Red was foreshadowing some stuff that's gonna happen in the main series, because Oda was heavily involved in that, to the point that there was something revealed in that movie that was not revealed until recently in the main series.
To be fair, he's been more involved in the movie starting from Strong World.
The Shanks thing, right?
Yeah.
I still need to watch
Yep.
Film Red, and I am gonna do it like soon,
Film Red is good.
especially considering it is on Crunchyroll.
Oh yeah, that helps.
I kind of forgot that it was until I went to find Stampede. Because here's the thing, the reason I was looking is because obviously I've started watching the One Piece live action with my mum, and I was wondering if there was any of the films available that I could watch with her afterwards. None of the ones that are available.
No, Mel, you gotta show her movie 6. That's definitely the most lighthearted one.
Is it
Wait,
actually?
which one is movie 6?
Baron Matsuri. The one where they're on the island with the plants.
I
The one
don't,
directed by I think it was Masaki. Was it Masaki Yuasa? Might have been Yuasa.
I don't know enough about the movies to know what joke you're making. If you are making a joke.
Okay, so movie 6 is probably considered to be the darkest and most disturbing One Piece movie.
Oh, then
Like, by a wide
I have
margin.
to avoid that at all costs.
Yeah, no.
What my mum likes about One Piece is its irreverent tone. So give me a happy
Oh.
movie, damn it.
I've actually... There is something I've been thinking about. And related to One Piece, and this is a very important question. Did Big Mom name her kids after fruit that exist and then seek those fruit out? Or do they change their names after they get their fruit, or what? Because while it's not a one-to-one, far too many of the Charlotte kids have the exact same name as their fruit for it to be a...
I'm pretty sure
Maybe
it was
it's an
them
Akira
taking out
thing.
the fruit.
I don't think Big Mom can see that far into the future.
No. I think what he means is Big Mom had the fruits on hand and fed them to the children after naming them.
That is a genuine possibility that I
Yeah,
have not
let's
considered.
go with that. That makes me sound really smart. I definitely intended, yeah.
You don't have to be so modest, Mel. Gosh.
I don't really know what I was trying to say, so I'm glad you managed to make some sense of it.
Thank you. I try.
Okay, it would make sense if she had the fruit on hand, but that really gets you thinking. Where'd she get so much fruit? It's not
She was
like
on
those things
rocks,
grow.
remember?
Hmm?
She was on rocks, remember? She probably had a bunch of shit on hand from being on
Oh,
one
you
of the
know
Rocks
what?
Pirates.
You know what? Actually, now that I think about it, what if they were tributes / stolen from like the fathers?
Yeah.
Could be.
I mean, look, she is an emperor of the sea. I don't think she's gonna struggle to get hold of devil fruit.
You see that, but apparently it was enough of a struggle for Kaido that he had to like invest in artificial fruit.
Well, it
to
wasn't
be
that he had trouble getting devil fruits in barrel, it was he had trouble getting so many devil fruits to supply a full-ass army. Because devil fruits, even on the Grand Line, aren't common enough for a full-ass army to be made out of regular devil fruits.
I'd also argue that he wasn't he like focusing on Zoans, considering that's his whole deal.
Yes.
That is his
Yes.
whole shtick, yes.
And let's be honest, there's a struggle to find useful Zoans. Remember our devil fruit tier list. A lot of the ones in the lower tier were those useless fucking like house
is
pet
true.
Zoans.
Zoans are kind of like the most swingy of the fruits, aren't they? Because,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, because some of the strongest devil fruits are also Zoans.
yeah, because every Paramecia and Logia is basically usable, right? You have
Not every. Not
deal with
every.
some of-
The
Huh?
jacket fruit. The
It's
jacket fruit is absolutely useless unless you have a partner.
But there's still people who can make it work, right? Also, it never specified if you have to get the consent of the person wearing the jacket. Which, you know, it's gross, but just think about it for a second.
Didn't we at one point talk about the possibility of like Kaido and Shanks with the jacket fruit? Like Shanks ate the jacket fruits, and
And then, yes,
Kaido put him on.
yeah, no, there's definitely ways in which it can be busted. There's ways, that's the thing, right? Is like, there's a way in which the majority of fruit can be busted. It's just, Zoans are not in that category. Zoans are the ones that are most dependent on, with the exception of mythical zones, but mythical zones are like basically...
you know, really fucking rare.
They're very rare, and they're established basically to be the single strongest category of fruit.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think Jack's right, because, you know, remember the Kaido was still able to find, you know, enough Zoans for, you know, the big three, which should have been the big two, but, you know, and the Toby Ropo.
The Flying Six, yes. Look, I don't fall prey to their visisms, Mill. These are the people who translate names literally and titles as the Japanese.
My dude,
Or
where
like-
else am I gonna how? What? I don't know, dude. I don't read the Japanese rules.
You don't have to read the raws. You just like it's not impossible to know the names.
Also, like, the anime uses Toby Ropo.
Yeah.
Like the dub or the sub.
The sub, the Japanese uses Toby Ropo, I'm fairly sure. I watched that. I watched that fucking Queen introduction enough times that I'm fairly sure that he yelled Toby Ropo.
Speaking of Queen and his intro song, fucking legendary.
Yeah. There's a reason that a meme was made of it.
Yep.
Song's great. He just really doesn't deserve that good a song.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like.
So, like,
I just-
what name would you use for the Toby Rappo?
Well, no, just like I don't like. So okay, in Japanese, calling them the Tobiropo makes sense because that's just they're calling them that in the Japanese. I'm pretty sure that literally translates to the flying. Okay, there's a better
Flying
example.
6 is not the best, like...
It's not a good name, but okay, I have a better example. Demon Slayer Pillars versus Hashira.
Hashira does sound a bit better. Pillars just sounds a bit more
But
generic.
it's also like not like there's. It's one of those things where it's harder to tell with foreign languages, and I will be the first to say that I cannot guarantee or like know for sure what a lot of these deal is. But just to give an example, it's like the difference between like having something capitalized and non-capitalized in English. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yes, proper nouns.
Yes. So it's like there are things that do not feel like they're meant to be proper nouns in the sense that they're words that are unique because of the words they use. That makes very little sense, and I am aware of that. I don't know how better to phrase it.
But yeah, I can see your point with something like the Hashira and Demon Slayer. Toby Rappo, not so much.
It's definitely a less egregious example. I'll give you that. But I still maintain that there's something there. There's like it would require someone more educated in the nuances of both languages than me to make a cogent argument. But that doesn't change the fact that I believe a cogent argument exists
Alright,
regarding what I'm trying to say.
I'm looking it up.
You don't have to look up that one specifically. It's just like I see it a lot, where it just like often it doesn't make sense to me what is and is not translated, because it's not like all proper nouns are and are not translated.
I mean, the literal translation is apparently Flying Six Fellows, which is horrible.
Okay,
yeah, that
no,
does
I
not
kinda
work
like
in
that.
English.
It does. Look, technically you can say that it doesn't work, but at the same time, it's silly enough that I wish it was the thing. Like, again, it's not like One Piece is this super serious series.
I know, but Flying Six Fellows makes them sound like fucking
Like a circus troupe.
I wouldn't even say that. That gives them too much dignity. They sound like a group of friends from a 50s kids book. And I have experience. I read the famous Five.
Oh God, you too?
Yeah. I had a lot of those books.
Which one was your favorite?
I don't remember them enough anymore.
Correct answer is the dog.
Oh, you meant of the characters. Okay, I thought you mean a book. But yes, the dog, yes.
No. Yes, which of the objective correct answer is the dog is the best character, followed by the youngest child.
Again, I barely remember them. I don't even remember their names. But yeah, going back to One
I know
Piece,
that-
like,
I know-
do you
I
take
think-
issue
yeah,
with do you take issue with King, Queen, and Jack being called the lead performers in the English versions?
Well, I think that one I'm fine with because it's more of a localization than a literal slash than it is a non-translation. Or like I'm okay with localizations. It's when they're weird about specific translation things, especially regarding proper nouns. That and I will never forgive them for Zolo. Ever.
Can you not at least
Understandable.
understand why they chose to do it?
I understand why. That doesn't mean I have to like it.
Like, I can understand disliking it, but, like, I do also completely understand why they felt they had to do it. Or at least, you know, they took the precaution of doing it, and by the time that they realized that it wasn't actually necessary, it was far too late.
I still think it's not too late. I think if they just quietly, from the next volume, just start calling him Zoro, I don't think anyone will care. I think, in fact, a lot of people will jump for joy.
Okay, here's something for you, actually, Jack. You know that Shonen Jump store?
I think so.
Do they have any Zoro merch on there? And if so, how do they refer to it?
I don't know.
I can't check because that store isn't available in the UK. Not to mention, yeah, I'm playing the game, but I think we've shown that I would still check if I could.
Yes, we have established that the game is not really a barrier for you in that regard. Or nor should it be. I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all, but like yeah, when I think about it, it is one of those things, huh? But yeah, I don't understand a lot of the translation decisions some of the time. But it's mainly just names and titles that get caught. Okay, I have some other discourse.
Oh.
Why are people acting like Bleach was ever good?
I mean, this feels like a conversation we should save for Saturday.
Why?
We have a roast scheduled after all.
Yeah, we've got the...
Of what?
Yeah.
Yes. Kaido's going to be on
wow.
as the devil's advocate, I believe.
I get the night off because I have not done anything with Bleach. Because
Wait,
I have
who's-
taste.
Who is going to be the Advocatus Diaboli?
Kaido.
Oh god. You realize you're going to have the two autistic people in the server in the same call, right?
Yes, I'm aware, which is why I'm going to mostly just be their moderator.
You're going to be needed for that.
Exactly.
Oh god, this... Look, I don't mean to scare you, but that podcast has the chance to get a little crazy, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, I am aware.
Will try and be on call if needed, but I
don't
am.
think it's at that point, but it's gonna be funny. I think it just because like
Will, I will let you know if I need you to come off standby to step in. Otherwise, just enjoy your night off.
Well, here's the thing. I've been scheduled to close on that day. So...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. You can have your...
Annoyingly,
you'll be able to have
considering I
mine.
said, do not put me on closes on that day. But, you know.
You really
Yes,
gotta talk with your bosses about that, because I'm pretty sure that's against a lot of labor laws. To just, like, ignore an employee's availability and schedule against it.
I mean, the annoying thing is, I am actually available.
Why did you put that in your availability?
I didn't, but the point is because I've got the night off that day, I am available.
On that specific day, but just
On that
in general,
specific day,
it's
in
like
general, I'm not. But it's annoying
okay.
because I am actually the one day they have scheduled me for it. I am actually available.
But yeah, okay, the roast of Bleck is gonna be a fun day for me.
Yeah. I will try not to step on your toes too much. I'll also try not to step on Kaido's toes too much.
Well, the thing is, we need to make sure we don't... the reason you're not gonna be stepping on Kaido's toes is because... Well, not the reason, but rather, I think what is important to remember is that, I do believe, we will be of a similar opinion in the sense that neither of us think Black is very good, to put it diplomatically.
I think Bleach does have different issues than Naruto, but I think it's, on average, less awful. Or obviously awful. On average. Naruto is just terrible.
Live with that, yeah. You know, Naruto's just irreprehensible. In many
Naruto
ways.
had some good good features back in the pre-time skip days, and then it killed all of that promise in the post-time skip days.
Naruto is very much highs and has some really good highs, but has some awful lows. Just like some serious low points. I wouldn't call it the worst battle shonen out there though, because Seven Deadly Sins exists.
Again, a series that had promise in areas that, you know, again, just destroyed that promise.
With multiple factors, including its next best protagonist.
I mean, that was the bit that was never, you know, good from the very beginning. But, you know, there were characters that were good.
No, you're right. There were characters that were good.
You know, there are absolutely moments in that series that are really fucking cool.
Unfortunately, it didn't last past the first major arc, really. I think the only real highlight after the first major arc was Escanor, and that's it.
Yeah.
What's funny is that the one of the best characters in the series was marred by the author just having a hate boner for him for some reason.
Bon.
Yeah, I don't know why the author just screwed Escanor over so much.
Escanor and Bon both. Like...
I really liked Bon's power set, and yeah, he apparently just gets shafted.
No, he gets shafted for the entire series. He gets one fight, and that is during his not even during his introduction. He gets one fight in the, like, against the demons where he does something cool. And that's it. That is the only thing he does that's good in the entire series. Like, it is insane. Because he has one of the most interesting power sets.
Yeah.
Like, the ability to... Like, anytime a character's power set is, like, conceptual more than physical, is just very interesting.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like we need to do that shonen manga tier list at some point.
We did.
Look, you said 7. You said 7 Deadly Sins. I was gonna say Fairy Tail.
Fairy Tail at least was mostly enjoyable early on, without the sex pest protagonist to hamper it.
Yeah, but it was just like, but it was more mid throughout.
I honestly still wouldn't put it in F tier if only because I did enjoy enough of it to not qualify it for F tier despite its awfulness.
The problem with that series is that every single the resolution of every single episode or every single fight was the power of friendship.
Oh yeah, no, that was dumb.
Or just like, okay, it's like that one joke in DBZA, I think it was in a movie, where...
Oh yeah, if you say we hit him really hard, I am going to lose my shit. We hit him really hard together?
I
Wasn't
mean,
even lose his shit, it was kick. I will kick you in the dick.
Right.
I
But
know,
no,
because
but
that
like-
that exact moment is like what I started watching DBZA for.
Yep.
Because I saw a meme
Vegeta
about.
has some really good hits, honestly.
Because yeah, I saw a meme about Vegeta being kicked in the dick. I was like, that's funny. I'm gonna watch this series to find out where it comes from. And then it was in a fucking movie. And I watched
Now-
all of the movies after the series.
Wow, damn.
So here's the thing. That is how every fight resolves, though. It's like, it wasn't that joke. It was the joke earlier, where Piccolo was fighting the robots. And he's like,
Oh yeah.
figured it out, you just have to hit them really hard. And that is how every fight resolves in one of two ways in Fairy Tail. Either...
Yeah, power of friendship or they pull a new power out their ass.
No, it's not even pulling new power, especially the protagonist. His entire thing is, he's using his strongest move and losing, and then he suddenly is like, but what if I use my strongest move and instead just win? And he does so. That's literally all he does.
Sounds even more blatant than Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yes. It's why I hate it. Well, there's a lot of reasons I hate it. That is just one of myriad reasons, but yeah, it's just like,
No, I get it. Fairy Tail is entirely deserving of reloading. I just wouldn't say it's the worst shonen manga I've ever read.
It's just uninteresting. At least with 7 Deadly Sins, some of the fights had like creative use of, at least early on, had creative use of power. But Fairy Tail from day one was just, I tried punching him and that didn't work, so I'll punch him harder. Oh, it worked. That's literally the entire thing.
Not to mention, hasn't all
my
of Mashima's
counterpoint.
basically been the same thing, just like palette swapped?
Literally, yes.
Yes.
And
But Fuzzy, hear me out. Which do you think is worse? Mediocrity throughout, or horrifically wasted potential?
that is a question that I feel should be asked to someone with a doctorate in critical analysis of media, because that is not an easy question to answer.
No, it isn't.
I want
actually.
your opinion on it.
I personally, I think something being awful at least gives you something to talk about.
That
Whereas
doesn't
if
answer the question, though.
well, yeah, that's my answer. Is I would prefer it to be outright awful than mediocre, but because if it's outright awful, you can at least talk about it.
Okay.
Whereas which is why mediocrity is worse. Because it's just like, not only
I
is
thought
it bad.
boring was worse.
Well, I could classify them as the same thing, right? Like in context?
Kinda, sorta, ish, maybe.
Like it's basically like, what is more damning of a statement than to say that, oh, I just forgot that was a thing.
That is a fair point.
I probably do agree with Fuzzy, given that, you know, I watched all of X-Arm.
Yeah, I had a feeling you might.
It was so funny. Genuinely haven't laughed that hard at, like, some comedy anime, because it was so insanely bad.
Honestly, like, I've sat through my fair share of stuff that's pretty mediocre at worst, but I cannot sit through something that grates at me as truly awful.
Yeah, I think that's the difference, is that we are capable, me and Mill are generally more capable of either hate watching or watching something that's so bad it's good.
I can enjoy so bad it's good, but,
Well,
but
no, what
most
I'm
bad
saying is
things don't cross that threshold in my opinion.
Well, I think that's what I'm saying, is that me and Mill have a lower threshold for that.
Whereas you have a lower tolerance for stuff that's in the middle.
Yeah, I just, like, if it's mid, then it just feels like I'm wasting my time.
See, I don't mind mid stuff because it does help set my perspective on the good shit and the bad shit as well. And it sets my perspective on those without making me watch through actual garbage that I hate.
But I can't hate X-Arm.
I'm not saying X-Arm in particular, Bill.
I know, but
I'm
just like, seeing as that was the example I used before, I cannot hate X-Arm as much as I may want to, for it being, you know, the anime equivalent of bleach in your eyes.
I cannot hate watch stuff, honestly. I just can't. If I don't enjoy something, I'm not going to watch it. Like, if I can get a modicum of enjoyment out of something that's generally mediocre, I'm still going to watch it because I'm enjoying it however little I am.
So,
but, like, if it's...
hate watching is not something I can do. Hate reading, I've definitely done that. You know, what with the Attack on Titans and all.
Yeah, no, I just did not bother finishing that.
I did. It was not a smart move. But I get to say for sure that Attack on Titan never improved.
It'll be fun ranking that in F tier when we do the Shonen tier list.
Say that like we're not going to create a trash tier.
Why would we
'cause there's
dignify it by calling
No.
it trash? We should toss it in the abyss.
Well, no,
Create
here's the
something,
problem.
Fred.
Here's the problem, is that there's good trash and there's bad trash. And it is sometimes hard to make the distinction.
So, this one YouTuber I watch occasionally, he did a tier list recently of superhero movies, and he made a distinction between good bad and bad movies by rating the awful stuff in the bad tier, and so bad good stuff in a tier he called delicious garbage.
I've had an idea, Jack.
Yes.
Oh no.
From now on, our like absolute bottom of the barrel tiers are the Absalom tiers.
Oh no.
We've done that twice now. We did that with the villains tier list, and we did that with the fights tier list. For
But
One Piece.
we only did it for One Piece tier lists. Now I'm saying we do it for all tier lists.
Well, okay, here's the
Which I'm
thing.
in.
Here's the thing.
Oh, you know what? I don't think everyone's going to understand that reference, though.
We will explain it every time if we have to.
So, okay, I know it's Absalom tier, but I did watch Dragon Ball Absalon back in the day.
Oh, Absalon? Oh, that
Yeah.
corporation.
No, are y'all not
The dub-
aware of
the
Dragon
dub,
Ball
right?
Absalon?
No, what is that? Oh, is that like the Dragon Ball GT quote-unquote sequel?
Yes, it's the fan-made sequel to Dragon Ball GT.
Oh, you mean like Dragon Ball AF?
Yeah, except it was actually someone actually spent God knows how much of their life animating it.
Joke's on them.
But yeah, we'll explain it if we have to, Jack.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It will be funny explaining at the beginning of each stream with the tier list.
Hell, I could probably, like, there's enough dead space on the tier list setup that could probably just, like, fucking put up a text explanation at the side.
Mm-hmm. If we're gonna name the bottom tier, we might as well name the other tiers, though, rather than just using the generic S through D.
I'm not willing to put that much time into explanations about tiers.
Well, we wouldn't have to explain the names behind them. We would literally just put names that feel intuitive, you know?
I don't know. I'm happy to do it with one tier. I think going for other tiers would be a little bit too far.
No, that's like it's funnier if only the bottom tier is named.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Naming all of the tiers is just trying too hard.
Not necessarily. Sometimes you're going for a theme. Or sometimes you just want to name for shits and giggles. Damn, you keep getting knocked back by Bartolomeo.
Yes, because this game is dumb.
It's almost like knocking people back and generally being an annoyance is Bartolomeo's entire power set.
Well, yeah.
There are too many characters that, you know, have a really low threshold for knockback, and it's very, very annoying.
So, like, there's something I'm curious about regarding the barriers from the old barrier fruit. Which is... you can just, like, break them with hockey, right?
We don't know. We've never seen it be broken. Even by Odin.
But did no one actually just try using hockey on them? Because if they're also hockey resistant, that is potentially one of the most busted powers in the series. And is like kind of
Odin
wasted
tried to break through the barrier in a murderous rage when he was charging against Orochi, so I'd be shocked if he wasn't using hockey. Especially since he wanted to murder Orochi at any cost.
Yeah, so...
They are at the very
hindsight.
least very strongly hockey resistant.
Now here's a real question. That seems like the optimal hard counter to Logias, huh? Because most Logias are fluids. The only one I can think of that wouldn't be stopped by that is maybe Kizaru.
Kizaru and I think Aokiji, because he can just drop the temperature.
Well, no. If it's a spherical cage, if they're trapped in a spherical prison, then the only one who could escape would be
Oh, if he was trapped inside a
yes.
barrier. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, it's It's not impossible to. Also, how long have we been going?
Hour and 20.
Okay.
Why for do you ask?
No, because I'm tired. But yeah, because the barriers are at least partially transparent.
Yep. Which means light passes through them.
You know, that makes me think of something. What happens if you, like, are able to separate a part of a Logia from the rest of their main body? Like, what if you have, like, a partially silvered mirror? Would half of Kizaru's body go through the mirror and the other half be reflected?
I don't know if Oda will ever get into the nitty-gritty of that question.
I mean,
Oh, he almost certainly will not, but, like...
I mean, we have sort of seen that, because, I mean, we've seen Logias get, like, cut in half. And, like, the parts just, like, turn into, like, whatever the fucking material is.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is there a range consideration, like there are with some of the Paramecias? Because we know Buggy and Luffy both have ranges, or at least it's most relevant with Buggy, because he just, like, has...
His buggy parts just go limp. They're too far away from his head, I believe.
Yeah. Does Buggy feel pain?
Fairly sure.
We have empirical evidence that he does. Unless you mean specifically for the remote bits.
No, from the cutting.
I don't think so, no.
No.
What
do you think Buggy's awakening would look like?
Well, Buggy's a pretty standard Paramecia, so I have to imagine he could just, like... It would actually be a pretty weak awakening if you think about it, because that would just mean he would be able to manipulate...
surroundings.
Well, no! Because remember, he has to cut things... He has to cut his body parts manually.
He can split himself up without having to manually cut himself.
Yeah.
Can?
Yeah.
Yeah. He does so multiple times.
No. The initial cuts, I mean.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have to do that.
Are we sure about that?
Yeah.
I might just be misremembering then, but, like... I have the feeling that, like... It's not so much that he can split himself up, but it's more that after he's cut, he can control the cut-up body parts.
No.
No. He's definitely split himself up of his own accord.
Okay, in that case, he can probably just split up the environment. So it would basically be just an extremely nerfed version of Law's Fruit in the Awakening.
Unless Buggy can split things up regardless of scale, in which case that'd be terrifying if he knew atomic theory.
Is Buggy really gonna know atomic theory?
Yeah, we've already established... We have long established that Buggy has one of the single most powerful fruits in the series. He just is too stupid to be able to use it properly.
Speaking of which, did we ever post the results of our Devil Fruit tier list in our server? Because I don't think we did.
I don't remember.
I'm looking right now.
Have you ever considered how boned we would be if we ever isekai'd into one of our favorite media properties?
Oh yes.
Yeah, like without some sort of cheat or being born in a position of privilege, we would be absolutely boned.
I mean, that's the point of Isekai, is the power fantasy aspect of it. So we'd be fine. Unless it was one of those dark Isekais, then you'd be screwed.
It's funny how it is basically always... There's 3 flavors of isekai. Power fantasy... Well, no, there's 2 flavors of isekai. Wish fulfillment and... tragedy? But you know what I'm saying?
I think so.
Because, like...
No, when did we do the Double Fruit tier list? Was it last year?
I think so.
I like, I do wonder sometimes, though, if you were to be just, PUBG dropped into any isekai, I'm not saying which one would you, into any, like, of your favorite fantasy works, I'm not saying which one you would prefer. I'm asking, which one do you think you have the best chance of surviving in?
Ooh.
Let's assume you can tentatively choose your drop location. Mill, any tentative thoughts?
I mean, would Dresden be so terrible?
I'd say so.
Are you joking? Have you read Jim Butcher's works? It's a nightmare factory.
I mean, as far as we know, nothing really bad happens to the UK.
That's because the story's not set in the UK.
And therefore I'd be safe.
Or would you just be forgotten?
I will take being forgotten over being noticed and dead.
Well, no, I mean forgotten after you're horribly deaded. At
Does
least if
the
you're
Ace
in...
Attorney setting count as a fantasy setting?
Huh?
Does the Ace Attorney setting count as a fantasy setting?
No, because there's only one person with magic powers, and she keeps getting accused of murder.
Oh, well, it's worth a try.
This is not meant as a gotcha. I'm just like, I don't think this is like the good faith version of this argument is, well, what do you think is the highest level of horrifying fantasy that you could survive? All fantasy is inherently horrifying from a human perspective. Or am I out of line there? Or am I out of line but right?
Probably closer to the latter.
You know what? I'll take it.
I feel like something was getting checked, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh, I was looking to
Oh.
see if where we where we posted the One Piece Double Fruit tier list.
Ah.
I believe the answer is we didn't.
Yeah. I'm not. I know we did the list. I don't think we posted the results.
Honestly, that's a genuine possibility.
I mean, I think I probably posted it on the Twitter.
That's it. You probably posted on Twitter, but not on the Discord.
I can't do
That would make
everything.
sense. Also, it's like not particularly necessary either way, so it's not a great loss.
No, Fuzzy, it's necessary to everything. The universe will fall apart without it.
Okay.
Can't you see the importance?
So, two things that I've remembered that we can talk a little bit about. First, I might be playing a D&D character that I might be playing a monk subclass that's based off Path of the Endless Sword.
Oh, interesting.
That is like one of the nerdiest things you can do, and I love it. Yes.
I haven't 100% decided yet, but it's looking more and more likely because I like the idea of it, and it looked like a cool class.
What subclass is it?
I mean, it is literally like a homebrew
Oh,
somebody made for
it's
it.
a bespoke homebrew.
Yeah.
For that specifically.
That's
Okay.
pretty rad.
I think I posted it in our D&D channel before.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't think I'm a part of that, or at least not on
No,
my
I
account.
mean in the Rabbit server, the D&D channel.
Oh, okay. I'm not a part of that because I muted it because I felt sad. But what are you gonna do with regards to D&D? And like, what is
So we're
Sunday?
on break while my brother is on his training arc.
And isn't that gonna be a while?
Couple months, yeah. He'll be he should be available again in like early November. Yeah, in the meantime, we're probably going to alternate between the one-shots and gaming streams.
It's fair.
We're also investigating like transferring over to Pathfinder.
And that would be a process. That would take a bit,
Not
so.
only would that be a process, I don't know if I'd even recommend it. It's not that Pathfinder is a bad system, it's a very good system. It's just so dense.
There's
So I
also
imagine it's substantially different from D&D.
not substantially, but there's a lot more to worry about in Pathfinder.
Yeah. It's a lot.
There's also the additional trouble factor of there isn't like an analog in Pathfinder for either of my classes. Obviously, there isn't one for the homebrew painter that I play in the main campaign, but Pathfinder doesn't have warlocks.
Oh, that's
I'm
wild.
sorry?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so here's the thing about Pathfinder. There is basically everything is in Pathfinder. So if you're saying it doesn't exist, it's less likely that it doesn't exist, and it's more likely that you simply have not found it. And I know that sounds very, like, reductive of me, but Pathfinder is the Dark Forest. It is just so... There's too much of it. Just objectively speaking.
I mean, I have found a homebrew for Warlock anyway, so I just need to have Kaido look at it.
I believe I'm going to have to go now.
Okay.
Family stuff.
Alright.
Alright. See you, Fuzzy.
Yeah, talk to you
Yeah,
guys
Fuzzy.
later.
I still need to look over Pathfinder stuff.
Oh yeah, so I had two things I was going to mention. So the second thing is, you remember a while back I mentioned I've been listening to this podcast called Off Menu?
Yeah.
That, you know, goes through people's, like, basically, like, favorite meals.
Yeah, you mentioned it.
So, do you know who Joe Thomas is?
Maybe?
So he was in the UK In-Betweeners. Like, that's what he's best known for. Anyway, he was the guest on it, and he is like adorably awkward and endearingly awkward. And he was basically like talking about how one Christmas he'd been like turned on the TV in the middle of a program that was called, what was it? Willie's Perfect Chocolate Christmas. It involved this guy burying an entire lamb in his garden and cooking it in there.
Huh.
And it was apparently really, really good. And so Joe Thomas, along with his friend's dad, who may also just be Joe's friend, if not best friend from the way the story progressed, decided to do the same thing, except Joe clearly didn't get all of the, like, steps to do this, and it went horribly, and the lamb just didn't cook. So they just buried an entire lamb for no reason.
Oof.
But through the podcast, they did actually manage to get in touch with with Willie, and they had a special episode back in Christmas 2020, I want to say, where they like got the two of them together to, you know, talk about where Joe went wrong, and basically where Joe went wrong was everywhere. To the point where he even didn't get the name of the program this was on right.
Sounds about right.
Because, yeah, he thought it was Willie's Perfect Chocolate Christmas, and then Willie's like, I don't actually think we did the lamb thing on the Perfect Chocolate Christmas, and Joe's like, oh, okay, oh, I have made errors.
Errors have been made.
But yeah, I still highly recommend Off Menu if you get a chance, because it's very funny.
Good to know.
I mean, there was one with Greg Davies of Taskmaster fame that literally seemed to drive one of the hosts insane. Because Greg opted out of a starter completely, which the host thought was insane. And then ordered a what was it? Fillet steak cooked medium. Not medium rare, medium. I have never heard somebody so genuinely, like, horrified. Oh yeah, how likely do you think it is that Sukuna is actually defeated?
I'm willing to bet he pulls at least one more thing out of his ass before he goes down. Is it all Gojo over for our heroes? Will Fraud Kuna finally be exposed? Yes, I've been seeing too many memes on the internet in support of it. Just the sheer back and forth between those two memes over the past, like, month and a half has just been so fucking funny to me.
Oh, you're not talking about Gojo and Sukuna. Okay.
No, I am talking about... Well, I'm talking about the memes surrounding it.
Ah. Because those two idiots are basically memes in their own right.
Correct.
Yeah, I know it feels weird to say this, given, you know, how long it's been, how long the fight has been, but it just feels too easy.
Wow, Bill. It's only the most intricate and
I know it sounds weird.
Series.
I know it sounds weird, but it feels too simple for it just to end with, and Gojo wins. I don't know.
Look, I'm going to wager that Gojo does win, but after Sukuna pulls out another thing out of his ass.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm willing to bet that the additional complication does not come from Sukuna.
Possible, yeah.
Or that Gojo does win cleanly, but then...
The point is Gojo's absolutely not helping fight Kenjaku. 100%.
Oh, no.
There's no way in hell
he is.
Yeah, there's no way in hell Gojo is helping fight Kenjaku.
No, again, I think Kenny's gonna pull some bullshit to ensure that
yeah,
Gojo does not interfere with his bullshit. Because Kenny is an asshole.
Yeah. Also,
like, this is known.
Yeah, I did actually read a really good Jujutsu Kaisen fanfic that did actually make me like Sukuna, and what is it, Uraume?
You're coming in a bit. You're coming in a bit staticky.
How am I now?
Better.
Yeah, my mic got knocked out of place a little bit. But yeah, so read a Jujutsu Kaisen fanfic that made me actually like Sukuna and Uraume, because it was a no powers AU.
See, that'll do it.
Yeah. And Sukuna was Yuji's twin brother and was dating Uraume, who was glorious. As the, you know, non-idiot in the idiot quartet of Sukuna, Yuji, Nobara, and Uraume.
Sounds about right.
Also funny was Megami did have his wolves, which everyone knew was wolves, but Megami refused to admit that they were.
That tracks.
And Sukuna always got annoyed that he refused to call them wolves. It was a really good fic. I mean, I got a little... what's the best way to put this? Little bit of a downer in sort of the middle... I want to say third. From sort of the halfway point to the three-quarter point. Because there was... Because basically what it was Megami trying to muddle through life with, you know, his beloved stepsister in a coma, and Toji being Toji. While also,
yeah, they'll
you know,
do it.
Suffering through the horrors of, well, an American-like healthcare system. So, you know, having to go to university, work several jobs to keep, you know, Sumiki alive, basically, all the while Toji's off who knows where. But then, as I said, at sort of the halfway point, Toji comes back and is full-on abusive asshole manipulating. Like, he's never really physically abusive, but he is gaslighting Megami super fucking hard. And it's so hard to read.
That does sound like a hard thing to read through.
Still good, though. It's well written, at the very least. Like, you know, clearly meant to hate Toji for it, but yeah. But, you know.
My thing is, Toji isn't nearly that despicable in canon, despite, you know, killing a child.
Oh, trust me, the Zenin family takes its lumps as well.
The Zenins are assholes.
Because basically what happens is Gojo and Geto try and adopt Megami, and Toji takes them to court, and then the Zenins get involved and make a claim for Megami. So there's this,
sounds fun.
So there's this three-way sort of like court battle. It's fairly clear that Toji's not gonna win, but there is a worry that the Zenins are gonna win because the courts aren't gonna want to give custody to a gay couple. And then Maki takes a stand. Bye-bye, Zenins.
And he gives a shattering testimony.
Oh, horrifically shattering testimony for them.
So yeah, they're abusive pieces of shit across the board.
Basically, yeah. Basically, yeah. It is like, as I said, it is devastating to the case. To the Zenin's case. It is horrifically devastating. So yeah.
Objection! Because it's untrue? No, because it's devastating to my case!
Yeah. So yeah, all's well that ends well. Megami gets adopted by the gay Gs. The gay Gs get married, and Sumiki wakes up. So hooray!
That sounds nice.
You know, there's a lot of good found family bullshit going on. I like that.
Found family bullshit is nice. Probably what makes One Piece so fun.
Yeah. What I will say is, I have been watching some, what I'm fairly sure are like filler clips from the anime, like pre-time skip of the Straw Hats just, you know, being a dumbfound family on the ship. And it does make me wish.
Delightful.
It does make me wish there was a little bit more of that in the manga.
I agree, but at the same time, like, the manga's already super fucking good.
I know, okay? But I can't help it. This might... I
get it. I get it. But fucking hell.
Okay, so there's there's two One Piece things I've just remembered that I do want to mention before we end, because I think we can end a little bit early. So one is what I think was probably a fan comic of Robin, like, I think pre-Ennie's Lobby, like, taking a sleeping Luffy's hat, like, I think wanting to see him react, and then Luffy's just fine with it, and Robin is like, oh, found family feelings, oh no.
Oh no. I'm getting feelings of friendship.
Yeah, and the other one was this is from the live action. How long do you think Mihawk stood there listening to Usopp?
Oh, I've seen posts about this.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it would be so funny if he stood there for a solid, like, half an hour plus just listening to Usopp.
Any significant length of time just listening to Usopp bullshit, just like, this guy's pretty cool. I'm gonna let him cook. It's probably all bullshit, but I'm gonna let him cook anyway.
Speaking of the live action, have you introduced your mom to it yet, or?
Yeah, no, we've watched the first 2 episodes. She really liked it.
Right. I wasn't sure if I was remembering right or not.
Yeah, no, we watched the first 2 episodes last week. She really likes Luffy. Like, really likes him.
Understandable. Luffy's amazing.
Yeah. We're gonna watch the next 2 episodes tomorrow.
Nice.
Obviously, unfortunately, it is the weakest arc, but you know, we'll muddle through.
I mean, episode 3 is the only weak part in that stretch. Episode 4 is a lot better, I think.
Yeah, to be fair. But yeah, I'm also, like, watching a ton of, like, cast promotional stuff from the live action, and Jesus Christ, the 5 actors they got for the Straw Hats, they're, like, so in love with each other.
They're such delightful clowns. They gel so well, it's wonderful.
They've got such good chemistry with each other.
Yeah.
Like, there was, what was it? There was a don't laugh challenge. Iñaki just went out immediately, which is, you know, so Luffy.
In character, yes.
Usopp is there trying to make all the others laugh, and then Jacob Romero, sorry, I should say, is there trying to make all the others laugh, and just ends up making himself laugh.
Yep. Also tracks.
Taz Skylar is just making all sorts of noise to try and get the others to crack, and eventually Emily does, and then it's just a tie between Taz and McKenyu.
I'm not shocked that McKenyu managed to last tied for longest.
Yeah.
It's not shocked me in the slightest.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, the Straw Hats casting, so very good. So perfect.
That's nice.
But yeah, we can probably wrap it up now. So, thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Once again, us talking bullshit as always. In terms
of course.
In terms of future stuff, Thursday, fingers crossed, we'll be doing Baldur's Gate 3 multiplayer. I've made more progress in my own campaign there. I'm nearing the end of Act 1. But I still need to test out the stealing the idol tricks. I will steal that idol, even if it means war. Saturday, as we were saying earlier, is going to be the Roast of Bleach, the Paradox Hour. That is going to be chaotic and fun.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, still don't know what we're doing Sunday. Probably gaming related. Maybe Dragon Age Inquisition. So we can, get a move on finishing that. Maybe move on to something else. And then next Tuesday is probably going to be the same. It's going to be Pirate Warriors 4 or Dragon Age Inquisition, depending on who is available. Frankly, Fuzzy probably shouldn't have been here considering how sleep deprived he apparently was, but hey.
He'll survive, I'm sure. I hope.
I mean, he's probably fallen asleep now, I hope. I hope. But yes, thank you everybody for watching. Please do give us a follow here on Twitch and on the website formerly known as Twitter at storytime_net. That the second one you don't necessarily have to do. I've not posted on there for a while. I might get back into it. We'll see. It takes energy to come up with new tweets every time we stream. But otherwise, thank you again for watching, and hopefully we will see you on Thursday for hopefully some Baldur's Gate 3 multiplayer. Good night.
Later.